We're going to start with George Pickens because I think this is something that is not going to go away. This is not going to be the last time we're having this conversation. And here's a quick tease. I'm going to tell you how this maybe ties into A.J. Brown. What? Okay, let's get to it. MVS signs with the Dallas Cowboys. Now, that is kind of a separate situation from what's going on with George Pickens, but adding a receiver always gets people kind of up in arms. But what really is the main story is we are hearing from everybody, multiple outlets, that he has signed his franchise tag, and he's going to make $27.3 million dollars in 2026 on the tag. And then he didn't sign the tag. And did he sign the tag? Did he? Snip, snap, snip, snap. Well, where we're at right now is he has not signed the tag. What George Pickens would like is obviously a long-term contract. After finishing third in the NFL in receiving with over 1,400 yards this past year, he'd like a top-of-the-market deal. We just saw the JSN deal reset the market. He deserves, he believes, to be up there right near the top, or he'd like to play elsewhere. Obviously, players don't like playing on the franchise tag, so those are the two options that he's looking at. And as of right now, my understanding is the Cowboys don't intend on trading him. They believe with George Pickens, with CeeDee Lamb, with Dak Prescott, with Jake Ferguson, they brought back Javonte Williams, some of the offensive line moves they had, we saw for a long stretch there that they could have the chance to be at the best offense in all of football in 2026. And obviously, Jerry Jones would like that. I haven't heard anything from the Cowboys side of things about wanting to go a long-term contract right now. And there's a few reasons why. But rightfully so that George Pickens wants the long-term deal. Is it going to happen? I'm not entirely sure that's the case. Now, I want to be clear that Pickens played great last year, but the sample size is relatively small. We know that there's a lot that goes into George Pickens outside of just the player. I've talked to plenty of people across the NFL that believe he is as talented as any receiver in the league, and that has never been refuted. But there were situations that went on in Pittsburgh with Mike Tomlin and that organization that gave a lot of teams pause. Hence why, with all of that talent I mentioned, he was traded for a third-round pick to Dallas. Now he has this great one season. Dallas is saying that's a smaller sample size than all of the baggage that we've seen, and I hate to say it that way, but that's the case, that happened in Pittsburgh, that happened in college, which is why he dropped in the draft, and they'd like to see more. Our team's going to be interested? Yes. I reported, remember, on here, I think, and on social media before the draft that the conversation of trading George Pickens has happened in that building in Dallas. They've had those conversations, and I think some calls have been made, but nothing has really come to fruition just yet. What you do need to remember about the Cowboys is that players have played on the tag in the past. Their quarterback has played on the tag in the past. They have no problem having players go out there and play on the franchise tag. If George Pickens is upset about it, and probably rightfully so, is he going to want to skip some things? Most likely. Would that bother the Cowboys? Probably not. No team is comfortable with distractions and a circus going on their training camp playing field than the Dallas Cowboys. It's happened many times before. It doesn't bother them. It almost seems like Jerry embraces it.